Hey guys, this is Tilson Timber, and today I'm going to be making some BRF cakes. The amount I'm going to be making is 6 jars that are 250 mil. There's two different style jars I like to use. There's this tall one and there's the shorter one. I prefer the shorter one, but today I'm going to be using these ones since I already have them available. Once you got these jars ready, you have a couple holes drilled on the top. You can do 2 holes, 4 holes, whatever you feel, depending on if you're doing spore solution with a syringe or you're doing agar. Yeah, it just depends on your preference. Today I'm going to be doing agar, and I already had these 2 holes drilled from previous, so I'm just using these. I washed them good in the sink with hot water dish soap, and then I sprayed them down with some 70% rubbing alcohol, and I just make sure they're nice and clean before I even use them, before I pressure cook them, and then you're extra safe. Once you do that, the 2 major things you need to buy first is a pressure cooker, and you need to get yourself a still air box. You can also get a flow hood. They're a lot more expensive. Still air boxes are kind of harder to work in, but for 20 bucks it gets the job done. Once you have those jars, the pressure cooker, and the air box, you're pretty much ready to go. For these 6 jars, you're going to need 2 cups of vermiculite, 1 cup of brown rice flour, and 1 cup of distilled water. And for the brown rice flour, you can either buy it ground up already, and as in the far left package I have right here, or you can just buy brown rice and then grind it up with the magic bullet, and then this is your product here. I've tried both and they're pretty much the same thing. I haven't seen a difference. This is just a lot cheaper, so that's what I'm going to be using today, since I just have it ground up already and I'm just using what I got. So you got distilled water, you got vermiculite, you got your brown rice. You're also going to need some tin foil. You need some rubber bands, micropore tape, and I like to also have some hand sanitizer to clean my hands. You also could wear rubber gloves if you wanted, paper towel. And for the gypsum, I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of it. You don't have to use it, but I find it just helps keep everything separated better in the jar. I've seen people also use bee pollen, instant coffee. There's lots of other things you can try out in your BRF cakes as you get going. But for now, I'm just doing the normal brown rice flour, vermiculite, distilled water, and 1 teaspoon of gypsum. So I'm going to get set up to do that, and we'll get going. Hey everyone, I'm all set up here now. I got my 2 cups of vermiculite, 1 cup of brown rice flour, and my distilled water that I'm going to pour into one of these measuring cups after, a 1 cup. I forgot to mention you're going to need more than 2 cups of vermiculite just for the top layer. So on top of your 6 jars, I usually just use an extra spare jar to scoop some vermiculite to pour on the top for the top layer after. So we're going to get going. So to mix this up, some people sometimes mix the vermiculite and the brown rice flour together first and then pour the water in, but I prefer to put the vermiculite in and then slowly pour the water until it's all mixed up, and then add the brown rice flour after, and slowly add that and just sprinkle it, mix it up, sprinkle it, mix it up, and I just keep doing that. And for the gypsum, I just put that into my water before I pour it into the vermiculite. So I'm going to get going here now. I'm using 1 teaspoon of gypsum. I got a 1/4 teaspoon to measure it, so I got to use 4 of these. You don't even have to be accurate. You can use half if you wanted. You can just do 3. Just going to mix it up real good. So yeah, I've tried mixing the vermiculite and the brown rice flour together first, then adding the water, and I've also did it this way where you do the water to the vermiculite, then add the brown rice flour, and I find it works a lot better. You'll see kind of what the texture I'm looking for after in this mixture altogether. You can use anything to mix it up. I find a fork the best. Just any bowl you have laying around the house, fork. Just slowly add the water and mix this up. In total, it usually probably takes me 5 to 6 minutes to do all this. If you're good at baking, you're good at making BRF cakes. Take your brown rice flour, just give it a light sprinkle. Just like that. that's what you're looking for. I've also used a coarser vermiculite that's not as fine as this. This is actually probably the finest I've used. Yeah, but as long as it kind of falls off your fork like that, you kind of got the right texture. So I'm going to get one jar started to fill up. I'll show you how to do that here, and then we'll get some tin foil on this and some micropore tape on the jars and get them pressure cooked. Alright, so take these jars, take our BRF mixture, and just fill it up till it's about 3/4 full. You don't got to pack it down or anything, just fill it up. So once it's about 3/4 full, what you're going to do is take your fork and you're going to pack it all down just lightly on the top, all the way around, just so that top vermiculite layer can't go down into this mixture right here. It's probably one of the most crucial steps. So just go around light, just pack it down. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now what you need is either rubbing alcohol wipe, or just, I'm going to spray some on a paper towel and I'm going to rub the inside of this jar right here before I put the vermiculite in and the lid on top. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to spray a piece of paper towel quick, and then I'm going to get the inside of that jar clean. Okay, so take just some vermiculite, put it on the top. My hands are clean. Take your lid. There you have it. You got your vermiculite layer on top. Everything is clean and sanitized. So for the tin foil, some people do 2 pieces, some people do 1. I do 2. So take 1 piece. Get on there. I think that'd be fancy. Put your rubber band, just for extra caution. About a second piece. Don't even need this, but I do it anyways. So there you have it. There's 2 with the 2 pieces of tin foil. I just got to put a second piece on that. Got 3 more jars to make, and then I'm going to get to pressure cooking, and I'll show you how to do that step.
Okay, the 6 jars are all ready. You got the tin foil on them. They're going to go into the pressure cooker. So I got just this bottom rack in it right here. Put it right in. What you're going to do is you're going to take some water, just tap water, and you're going to fill it up pretty much just right till you kind of see it touching these holes. You don't want the water touching the bottom of the jars. Is kind of the goal. So I'm going to fill it up here. Give it a shake, you can kind of see it. It's perfect. So I'm putting these jars in and just kind of put them all around in a circle. I don't really like to let them touch the sides of the wall. I don't know if that's an issue, but I just put them in like this. This does have a second rack, so you could put another rack on top, do another 6. There you go. So you take this up to the stove, put her on high, or just crank her up. So I got the 15 pound weight on it. You want to use 15 pounds. We're going to go for an hour and a half. So yeah, crank the stove up. Wait till you see the pressure indicator right here come up, a little red tab. You'll see this start to spin real good. Once you see that, turn it down to like medium, just over medium, and then set your timer for an hour and a half and let it go. Once you're done, you're gonna take this pressure cooker off the stove and just leave these jars inside this pressure cooker for 24 hours. I've seen some people, if you take these jars out of the pressure cooker and while you're waiting 24 hours to use them, you're just waiting until they're down to room temp. But if you wait and let them sit in here 24 hours, the condensation doesn't get as bad on the jar. So that's what I like to do. So I'm going to pressure cook these now. First thing I like to do is just spray my hands. Get those all clean again, even though I already did this.
Take one of my paper towels, give it a good spray.
Take this piece of tin foil off. Good for now.
I'm just gonna do one on video for you guys. You get the idea, just do the same thing for 6. Get the top of this lid and this whole jar spray too. Working in the steel air box is pretty hard, but you get used to it. I already sprayed these ones, but I can give them a spray again in the box.
Okay, so I sprayed everything down. Now I'm going to flame sterilize this tip. There. You can also get an alcohol wash if you want to do this a lot better than how I do it. But for being cheap, this has got me by quite a bit. So. Okay, I'm quite good. So now you want to let this knife cool down for 30 seconds at least. While you're doing this, you can even crack your jar. Right there. Set this ready. So you don't need much of this at all. And when cutting this, the best thing to do possible is there's little strands of mycelium that you can see kind of growing out. If you can, try to cut between those. I find it helps. Just grows out a lot quicker and easier. So, all right. So the scalpel should be good now. I'm going to cut one little piece off and drop this in. This one's giving me troubles, of course. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there for a second. Just like that. Take this jar. I like to do the jar last. Shit. So you want to take whatever you're going to scrape the vermiculite with, and you want to slowly, carefully move the vermiculite out of the way in one corner, or two corners, however much you're going to drop in. I'm just dropping one piece, so I'm going to move it like that. You want to get down right to where that BRF mixture starts, as close as possible. This fine grade vermiculite's kind of hard to move around. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's good enough. Just like that. Cover it back up. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just wipe this down again, this lid, and then I'm going to put some micropore tape on it. I like to do an X, so one across that way, one across that way, double it up. Then it's good to go. I label it, the date, and then yeah, I'll show you where I put them after. Okay, so I got 3 out of the 6 done. I got to still do the other 3 that are in the pressure cooker, but just figured I'd show you. So I got 2 pieces of micropore tape on the top, just in an X, and then I just wrote the strain and the date on the top with a little piece of tape, and then so you're pretty much good after this. So to get these jars fully colonized, what you're going to have to do is either going to put them up in a closet, up on the top shelf, somewhere warm and dark, or you could build something. I've seen guys use aquarium heaters in tubs where their jars sit in, so it's nice and dark in there too, and it keeps the bottom warm. I just got a small grow tent though that I used, that I had kicking around already, with a little heater and a thermostat on it. Yeah, I find in this stage I like to keep the jars at about 80 Fahrenheit, and then once they're fully colonized I drop it down to about 75. So yeah, I'm going to stick these in my small little grow tent now with the heater. It's at about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll keep you updated on them. Okay, here's my small tent that I have all my jars sitting in darkness until they're fully colonized. Got my little heater. These are the ones I did today. Those 4 and those back 2. That's 6. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on this. If you like this video, like and share it. You can follow my Instagram at Tilson_timber, TILSUN_timber. Thanks guys, appreciate it.